Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Cote, and I'm your podcast host today on the show. And today we have Peter Harman, CEO of Infinitive, as my guest. We're going to be learning about his business, his journey to business ownership, best practices, and challenges he maybe has faced along the way to give you an inside scoop to what it's like to own and operate a business. If this is your first time on our channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop episodes like this. Welcome, Peter. It's so great to meet you. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Well, let's start off with share a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Infinitive.
Okay, so Infinitive is a software business. So it's for manufacturers who have products that are customizable or modular, where every time they sell that product, it's slightly different. So the business has existed for about 8 years, initially as a consultancy, and then we transitioned into being a product business to sell this piece of software that we developed.
Oh, that is wonderful. Well, let's take it back a little bit. What inspired, what's your why behind starting the business?
So this is my second business. So my why behind my first business was I I'd always wanted to create my own thing, and I had the kick that helped that back in 2009. At the time I was working for the Honda Formula One team, and when it became Braun GP in 2009, I and many other people were made redundant. And so I used a redundancy payment in order to start my first business. Um, Back in 2009. And I sold that business in 2012 and then ended up working for the business that acquired it for a number of years. But I always had then the feeling of wanting to do my own thing again. Because I feel that it suits me. I like I like the creative aspect of it. I like being able to, make something new.
Oh, definitely. Well, that's very inspiring. And looking at what you're building now with Infinitive, how many years have you been in business with that now?
So the business has been going for 8 years. The products existed for about two of those years. So we kind of fell into it. So we were doing consultancy work, helping engineering software businesses and manufacturing companies with custom software. So looking for essentially where off-the-shelf software was not helping these businesses. And we saw this same challenge keep coming up. So manufacturers where the off-the-shelf software didn't really help them because actually each time they were selling something, it was different. And so we realized that there was an opportunity to turn this into a product essentially.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, and we got quite a motivation in beginning of last year. We had some consultancy work cancelled, and so it it gave us that it gave us that motivation to make that decision and say, right, okay, we're now going to go full on into this product idea. Um, so it's been exciting over about the last 18 months, making that transition into selling the software rather than selling services.
That's incredible. Now, what were some of the things maybe you faced with challenges going from consulting to software? Because that's like a completely different jump, same industry, but different jump.
It,
How did you tackle
it
that?
is exactly. So you're trying to sell something in a very different way. One of the big challenges, especially when you're selling B2B software, is that the sales cycle is very long. So um, you can't necessarily where with consultancy, you might pick up some big projects and then you can fill in the gaps with smaller ones.
Mhm.
Um, with software, you really need to make the complete sell. You know, they've got to take on the product. It's got to be used by them, and so you are going through quite a long process with each prospect in order to get them to the point where the software, you know, really fits with what they need.
Definitely. So what would you say, like, what's a typical timeline between, the sales to the sales cycle, start to finish?
Um, I'm not sure we've seen anything that's typical yet. I mean, it's so we're you know it's taking us from a few months to more than a year of
Okay.
of continuous contact with with those prospects to to make sure that we've got all the features that they need, but also to make sure that it's going to actually fit into the way that they work, because that's there's no point continuing trying to sell something to someone if it's not actually not actually going to benefit them well.
Well, that leads me perfectly into my next question, which is like, what makes you stand out, and what makes you unique and makes your customers buy from you?
So, uh, yeah, so our platform generates configurators. So the idea of a configurator is you can publish it on your website. You can use that to sell your customizable product online. Now that's not a new concept. There's plenty of vendors out there selling configurator software. But where we've made this unique is firstly in our link all the way from configuration through to production. So our software integrates with e-commerce, integrates with ERP. We've worked with customers to have that go all the way from their customer making the choice of what they want through to the factory. So no need to have a designer involved in each sale, even though it's a custom product.
Mm.
The other area where we're unique is the way that we support modular products. So a lot of products out there where someone is selling something that's unique. In actual fact, it's the individual parts aren't unique. It's a kit of parts. So if we look at things like fitted furniture and kitchens, uh, generally it is a set of units, a worktop maybe in a kitchen, all those different appliances that you're putting in there. And yet every single customer is unique. Every single customer has designed something and
Mhm.
wants something that's unique to them. And so we've built technology around capturing the data that's needed to describe a modular product, how those different modules go together, and most importantly, how they are incompatible sometimes, or what the requirements are. So
Mhm.
taking the kitchen example, your expectation is you have one sink, one oven, and a certain amount of storage space. So we're actually capturing those requirements from the customer, and we're also capturing the data of from the CAD designs of the manufacturer, so that the customer has the easiest journey possible, basically to choose what they need and come out with their design without needing a designer or an engineer involved.
That is a really unique. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's really unique. Talking about your customers, like if I were to either come into your space or see you online, how would I know I'd be your ideal customer?
That's one thing that we found difficult to tie down, because what's key to us is the type of physical product that the company's selling. And actually, it's quite broad what industries we can work in.
Mhm.
So I like to use the examples of kitchens, because it's something that everyone understands, and kitchens and fitted furniture is an area that we work in. But equally, we're working in electronics as well. We've done work in shipbuilding, lighting, industrial automation. There's so many different industries out there where ultimately the product is being built from a kit of parts.
Mhm.
And one big pull that we're seeing is from the construction industry. So
Mm.
there's there's a lot of talk in the construction industry about modular construction and using kits of parts to make construction more efficient, to make it safer. Um, and that's something that extends not just to creating a building, but it extends to all of the different subsystems within that building. So if you want a staircase or a window or the doors, they are generally all configurable and modular products on their own. And so there's there's a lot of different industries that we can serve. From our perspective, it's how the product itself is defined. So this modularity essentially that's key to us.
Hmm. Now, are you looking to like streamline into focusing on construction, or do you prefer the larger amount of different industries that you're serving right now?
Um, Both. So we've recently been working on a project funded by Innovate UK, the UK funding agency, on which is called Generative Modular Design in Construction. And what that's helped us do is further develop our technology in how we help construction businesses. Um, so we are definitely going down the path of doing more in the construction world. Um, uh, but equally, we have partnerships with the big CAD vendors, and they work across industries. So we're keen to keep that cross industry aspect of what we do as well.
Oh, well, that's fascinating. And I'm kind of like looking at, as you're serving more clients, as you're growing, how do you see your team growing? Like how many team members do you have now, and are you looking to expand that?
So we're currently a team of five. Um, we expect to grow um, by a few next year, but we're not talking massive growth. Uh, that team is it's mostly a technical team. One thing I uh, one thing I always focus on is getting people who have some industry understanding. So um, I'm a mechanical engineer myself, and actually some of our development team are engineers and material scientists who've shifted to doing software, and I find that a good way of the team understanding well what the customer's challenges are. Um, but obviously, ultimately, we're delivering software, so the job is largely a software development job.
Mhm. Now, are you internationally working, or are you sticking close to the area you're in?
We work internationally, so we've got customers uh, in China and in Europe and North America. We we actually used to get more when we were doing consultancy work. We would get more work from the US, actually from the UK. Um, so we're delivering software that's cloud-based. So uh, in a sense, we're open to delivering to customers anywhere, really.
That's incredible too. And how have you seen like as technology grows, how has that been a benefit to you as you're expanding?
Um, So, well, I think that we managed to do a lot with a small team. So we've got very good at automating our own workload, as well as as well as essentially automating our customers' workload. We're making sure th- that the software is being developed and deployed in a robust way that's not requiring a huge amount of effort um, from the team. Um, and with the technology project in construction that we're working on, we are working on AI technologies for accelerating that design in construction. So um, we are there at the at the edge of those technologies that hopefully will make a big difference in the engineering construction world.
Definitely. It's an adventure to see it unfold. Well, this has been such a fun conversation. I'd like to go into another part of the conversation called our rapid fire questions, where I ask you four questions and you answer very top of mind. So, are you ready for some rapid fire?
Okay, of
All
course.
right. Question number one is, what is the key to success for you?
Um, Enjoying what I do.
That's a great answer. That's true. Number two is, what is a piece of advice you have for other business owners?
Um, I I think the key to running any business is resilience and keeping going. Everything takes twice as long as you want it to take, and so if you stick with it, then you find that it actually is more successful than maybe you thought at one point.
That is a great answer too. Number three is, what is a maybe a book or a piece of content, could be a podcast, anything that you've taken in most recently?
Um, I don't know. That's a question that I can't think of the answer to. I'm sorry.
That is totally okay. Our final question is, if you could wave a magic wand and overnight change one aspect of your business for the better, what would it be?
Um, just more customers quicker, I think.
Well, this has been such a great conversation, and I'd love to help you, put yourself out there and get more customers. So, how can people find you?
So people can find us at infinitive.io.
Wonderful. And our final question today, what is most inspiring to you today?
I don't know on that either. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, Peter, this has been a great conversation. I really appreciate you coming on to the show today, and thank you so much. And for anyone listening, especially if you're growing in technology and you're growing a business of any industry, definitely like and subscribe to get episodes like this from people who are out there doing it and want to help you along the way. So thanks again, Peter, for being on the show.
Thank you.